Hey there guys, what is up? My name is Leo and you're watching the Argent Leo's gaming channel. Today I was thinking that, I need a new phone. And I was thinking I should have a look at the iPhone 13 Pro Max. Just go to the website, have a look, see if I like what I see what research I can do to establish whether this is actually the phone that I would like to have in the future. Um, let's do this. Let's search iPhone 13 Pro Max specs and see if I could determine exactly what an iPhone Pro Max has under the hood. So as we know, an iPhone is made by Apple, that everybody knows by now. And the iPhone 13 Pro is approximately 6.7 inches in diameter. So that's about 17 centimeters, if I'm not mistaken. So I can establish that it's basically a tablet phone. It's got quite a nice wide screen, and I would enjoy playing games and watching movies on it. It has a 12 megapixel camera or 2160p pixel display, and that would make quite good pictures. I have seen 12 megapixel cameras and they look awesome. 6 gigabyte of RAM. It will definitely be able to play games nice and smoothly. And it's got this Apple A15 Bionic chip in it. But we will get into that a little bit later. And the battery is 4,352 amps battery capacity and technology. So okay, so this is good. Let's go into more detail with regards to the 12 megapixel camera. What is a 12 megapixel camera exactly? Well, let's start here. How wide is 6.7 inches in centimeters? Okay, there we go. In centimeters. Okay, that doesn't tell me much. Optic is 7 centimeters in inches. That doesn't help me. Okay, how wide is 6.7 inches in centimeters? I think that should tell me more or less what I want to know. Okay, so it's approximately 17 centimeters wide. So that's good. Like I was saying, I know less, or I've I've researched it before, 6.7 inches before, and it calculated to 17 inches. But I just wanted to show you guys where I got that info from. 12 megapixel. How good is a 12 megapixel? Let's have a look. Camera quality. Okay, so 12 megapixel has a pixel resolution of 4,247 pixels. Best print quality basically 8 to 12 inches. So I suppose that should be the screen size. 20 megapixel. Okay, let's look at image quality. There's something that explains resolution. 12 megapixels is this. Honestly, I'm okay with that, with 12 megapixels. I can see what the image quality will look like. Here's something. Redmi Note 7 Pro. I'm looking at the iPhone and I wanted to see what 12 megapixels looks like. It looks nice, I suppose. Okay, let's move on. The camera is okay. It's 12 megapixel camera. It's good. 6 gigabytes of RAM, but okay, we all know what RAM is. Random access memory. But this seems interesting. This is what I really want to look at. What is an Apple 15 Bionic chip? Okay, and I need to look under all. Apple 15 A15 Wikipedia. The Apple A15 Bionic is a 64-bit ARM-based system on a chip. Okay, designed by Apple Incorporated. This is used in the iPhone 13 mini. Okay, the iPhone 13 range basically. It has a max CPU clock rate of 2.93 gigahertz. So that's basically what a mid-range PC would be, more or less, I think. It's faster than my PC. My PC used to be mid-range once upon a time, but I suppose it's not. It is quicker than my PC though. And I'm pretty happy with my PC. I'm actually recording this video on my PC at the moment, and I think it's quite fine. I do all my editing on my PC. So yeah, so what are they saying here? Okay, people also ask, is there an A15 Bionic chip? As I recently noted in another article, Apple currently has two different versions of the A15 Bionic chip. Although they don't advertise them using different names, the regular A15 Bionic chip used in the iPhone 13 and iPad mini 6 models has a 6-core CPU and a 5-core CPU with 4 gigabytes of RAM. So, I mean, the phone has got a CPU that's pushing out 2.93 gigahertz of power. That's like the clock speed. So wow, I'm impressed. That's basically like PC in a phone. So you know, I'm starting to like this. Okay, let's look at the amperage or the battery or whatever that means. I'm really not a phone person. I'm really not a phone person. Okay, so what does this mean? Apple says it can last up to 28 hours for video playback, up to 25 hours for streaming video, and up to 95 hours for audio playback. All that's possible thanks to the 4,352. I think that stands for amps. I could be mistaken or corrected. Like I said, I'm not a phone person, but I know that is the indicator for battery power. Battery inside the device, which typically allows for an extra 2.5 hours of use over the iPhone 12 Pro Max. Okay, I'm happy. I mean, 28 hours. Most phones, you got to charge them up daily. So this one, you got to charge it up every second day. And they're talking about the video playback alone. So maybe if you don't play too many videos over a few days, it'll last longer. Maybe. Okay, I suppose we'll. But it's good. I mean, it lasts more than a day. I don't have to charge it every day, and I'm happy with that. Let's see what this stands for. Or pronunciation, meaning. Okay, battery meaning. Milliamperes per hour. Okay, so we've established that it means milliamperes per hour. So anybody wanting to know what MAH means? Milliampere per hour. And the capacity of batteries is indicated as XXXXX for X's. Okay, that's just like, missing decimal, the missing numbers. XXX would be like missing numbers, if you know what I mean. Like we're looking at 2000 milliamperes, so XX, that's the X for the 1 to the 0. Okay, you guys get it, right? The formula for calculation is as follows. Capacity milliampere per hour equals to discharge ampere and multiplied by discharging time per hour. For example, take a NIMH rechargeable battery with a capacity of 2000 milliamperes. Okay, we get the general idea. It means milliampere per hour. So it's basically telling you how long the battery will last per hour. It's got its calculation. But anyway, we're not going to get into that. We know it lasts for a day and a half, and I'm happy with that. Let's look at, what is this, versions 2A, international, USA, Canada. I have no idea what this means. Addresses. Is there any indication what it could mean? Okay, maybe it's the models in each country. I don't know. Are there any models that are the same? Could be a model. Okay, let's go into the network technology. So it's got G. What happened there? Okay, so let's look at the network technology. GSM, CDMA, HSPA. Okay, I know LTE and 5G, and these really don't interest me. So in my country, I need LTE and 5G. So it's got that, and I'm happy with that. Launch announced status. Launch announced status. Okay, so it was launched in 2021, September 14th. Available, released in 2021, September 24th. So it's not yet a year old. So it's still worth, I mean, purchasing brand new. And its dimensions, okay, it's 17 centimeters by 7.7 millimeters. That's how thick it is. $160. So 3 inches, 17 across. So that's about a half. of the width. So if it's about 8.5 centimeters, okay, let's. I don't think it'll be 8.5. I think maybe a little wider in that range. Okay, got a general idea of how wide and how long the phone is. Like I said, I like it. It's basically like a tablet phone. That's the idea that I'm getting just from looking at the website and the pictures. Weight. Okay. What you guys might not know is that 240 grams is the weight of half a glass of water. I kid you not. It's the weight of half a glass of water. So if you want to get an idea of how heavy the iPhone 13 Pro is, just pour half a glass of water and then you've got the weight in your hands. Beautiful. Just a trick that you can use, and it works. Okay, let's get some proof. How heavy? Spelled wrong. Is 240 grams. In cups, okay, let's do this, right? Weight of half glass of water. Glass of water. In grams. Okay, there we go, in grams. 1 cup is 250 milliliters. 1 milliliter of water weighs 1 gram, so therefore 1 cup of water is 250 grams. Okay, I stand corrected. A glass of water weighs 250 grams. So if you want to know more or less how much the iPhone weighs, it weighs about the same as a glass of water. Glass front, Gorilla Glass, glass back, Gorilla Glass, stainless steel frame. Okay, this is cool. So from what I can tell here is that it's made of Gorilla Glass, and we know that Gorilla Glass is scratch resistant, and it can be dropped from a height of 1 meter, which is about the height of a person's pocket to the ground, and it can take a couple of impacts. It's not indestructible, but it's supposed to take a couple of impacts. So it's better having some protection than no protection. And it's got a stainless steel frame, so in between the Gorilla Glass front and back, it's got a stainless steel frame, so which means it should not rust. It comes in a single SIM, nano SIM, and or eSIM, or dual SIM, nano SIM, eSIM, dual SIM, standby. Okay. It's got a range of it comes in different size SIM cards, so we don't really care about that because you're obviously going to buy a SIM card and do a SIM swap, so whatever the SIM size is doesn't really matter. But it's nice to have a nano SIM. So it's IP68 dust water resistant up to 6 meters or 30 minutes. So you can have it lying submerged in water for 30 minutes, but not longer than that. And it can take a fall of 6 meters, or it can fall. It can go 6 meters underwater for 30 minutes. Okay, what this basically will tell me, and the practical reason, um, the practicality for me regarding this is that, look, if I fall into water, if I'm out somewhere and there is a body of water and I fall into it, my phone will still work afterwards, provided I don't sit in the water for more than 30 minutes with my phone, because then it will drown. So that's good. I mean, practicality for practical purposes. If I get rained on, or if I fall in water, or if for some reason I somehow get water on me, submerged in water, my phone will survive. Apple Pay, it's a very convenient service to have. You can link basically your debit card or your credit card to the service, and you're able to purchase with your phone through apps, which is awesome. You don't have to worry about losing your debit card, or the card getting damaged through overuse. You can link it to your Apple device, and as long as the card isn't expired, it will work. Display type Super Retina XDR OLED. So we know OLED TVs are awesome, and that a phone can refresh at 120 hertz per second. That is awesome. I mean, you can just imagine playing a game at 120 frames per second or higher. And this phone is capable of a refresh rate of 120 hertz. So it should support. I'm thinking that I haven't seen anywhere where it says that it supports 4K. But majority of OLED, well, I don't think I've seen an OLED TV or heard of an OLED TV that isn't 4K. So at 120 hertz refresh rate, even if the phone is not 4K, it wouldn't really bother me, because the screen is too small. But anyway, that it refreshes at 120 hertz. They got me on there. I'm quite interested to see how a game or something cinematic created, something artful that is created for cinematic purposes for a game. I would love to see that on this phone. So I'm interested. 6 to 7 inches. That's 109 centimeters squared. Okay, I've already calculated the diameters, and I was thinking about this 109 centimeters, and I could not wrap my head around it, because if I've got 17 centimeters here and I measure both sides 17 centimeters and 17 centimeters, that means I'm left over with 75 centimeters. And if I take the 75 centimeters and I divide it, then I've got, like, it's way larger than the phone. Then I got to thinking, 109.8 centimeters squared. So that would be like the circumference, maybe the total the total, the word I'm looking for, the total footprint of the phone. So if you lay it down on the floor, on the ground, and you roll it over, that would be basically 109 centimeters squared. That would be taking into consideration the bezel of the phone, the front and the back of the phone. So every physical part of the phone. So That doesn't really matter to me, you know. That's interesting. It's nice that it fills spot some of the page, but that doesn't mean much to me because I can see it already. Okay, and 87.4% screen to body ratio. So only 13% of the phone is body, the rest is screen. Okay, nice. Nice. Here's the Apple iPhone. And yeah, it's nice that most of it is the screen. Okay, so we know that the screen is good, and we've discussed the circumference, resolution. This is good resolution and pixeling. We all know that. 1080p, 1080p and up is good. We know that 1080p, anything above 1080p is what you're looking for, and it's good. So this one is 1284p, so it's even better than 1080p, so it's good. Protection, it's scratch resistant, ceramic glass, oilophobic coating. Okay, so that means that it's fingerprint resistant, basically. Unfortunately, the coating does rub off in time because you're going to clean your phone either way. You're going to wipe it, and eventually it won't be oilophobic, so oilophobic anymore. Nice thing to have, especially on a screen, on a screen, and something that's going to be touched a lot. It's nice that it's got an oil phobia. Wide color magnet, gamut, wide color gambit, true tone, wide color gambit. So basically, what this is, let's just search it for now for a second, just to so that you guys get the full grasp of what's going on with this thing. The wide gamut RGB color space, or Adobe wide gamut RGB, is an RGB color space developed by Adobe Systems that offers a large gamut by using pure spectral primary colors. It is able to store a wider range of color values that sRGB and Adobe RGB color spaces. So basically, this this color palette has been developed by Adobe Systems, and we know that Adobe is quite good with animation. So I mean, this just adds to what this phone can do regarding its picture quality, and a refresh rate. Well, basically the screen performance. Awesome stuff. I'm digging it. Okay, so wide color gamut, that's good. Platform OS, so operating system, we know that it's an Apple operating system, upgradable to 15.4.1, and we know the reasons why the decimals change, because each time they find a problem with the previous version, they will update it and then just upgrade it to the next version and give you a whole lot of fixes as to what the problems were. And most of the times you don't use half the stuff, so you don't even know that thing was broken. But yeah, it's good that they do release that with corrective notes, so you know what they fixed. So awesome stuff. It's freely available on the internet. You can just type it in. We can do that if you like. Okay, let's do that quickly. iPhone. '13 Pro. Okay, let's do that. So we can scroll down. What's new? But we don't want the one in YouTube. Updates here. Yeah, it is Apple support. So you can go onto Apple .com, and you type that in, and then let's go into the updates, and they will tell you what the new update is, and here are some of the fixes. So 15.4.1 iOS operating system includes bug fixes and security updates for iPhone and is recommended for all users. This update includes the following bug fixes for your iPhone. Battery may drain more quickly than expected after updating to iOS 15.4, so they got a patch in 0.1 that fixes the battery draining. Braille devices may become unresponsive while navigating text or displaying an alert. This is so nasty, because okay, let's say you can't see, and you're relying on the Braille device for you to actually read your phone, and it becomes unresponsive. So wow. And yeah, that's nasty. I better edit that out of this video. But anyway, well, the Braille devices may become unresponsive while navigating text or displaying an alert. So the 15.4.1 fixes that. Made for iPhone hearing devices may lose connection within some third-party apps. So they've improved on that. They fixed some of that, I suppose. So that's good. Okay, so that's how basically the upgrades work on software and software releases that upgrade. Okay, we've gone through the A15 Bionic chip. I'd just like to point out this here, the 5nm computer chips, 5nm. So that is actually the power ratio of that chip. I'll just show you what I mean. Enter. Okay, what does it mean? So the 5 nanometer, okay, yes, that's what NM stands for, nanometer. Lithography process is a technology node semiconductor manufacturing process following the 7 nanometer process node. Commercial integrated circuits manufacturing using 5 nanometer process is set to begin sometimes around. What does 5 nanometer mean? Processor size. Okay, I stand corrected. I thought it had something to do with the power ratio, but okay, it's the processor size. So 7 nanometer. Okay, something more interesting. How big is a 5 nanometer processor? Okay, let's say size of a 5 nanometer chip processor. So it's 17.92 millimeters squared. Okay, considering the phone is 17 centimeters long, I mean, like 17.992 millimeters squared. That's quite big. I mean, considering if you look at the Ryzen range chips, they're not as big as the old ones. I've been tinkering with computers for a long time, and I've seen some big chips. So I would have expected this one to be a little bit smaller. But I suppose if it's too small, it wouldn't be big enough to do what it needs to do. Okay, let's moving on. Okay, CPU hexa-core 2 point. So it's got 2 times 3.23 gigahertz avalanche processors. Hexa-core, and 4 times 1.82 gigahertz blizzard cores. And then the GPU is Apple GPU, 5-core graphics. Okay, so Apple's got its signature GPU, and it's got 5 cores, and it's in that phone. So I'm quite impressed with the numbers here. You know, that's a lot of gigahertz inside that phone. Okay, moving on. Memory. So it can come with onboard memory of 128 gigabytes, which is quite large for a phone. And it can go all the way to a terabyte, which is ridiculous for a phone, but well, there it is. 1 terabyte, and it can go up, and it can have 6 gigabytes of RAM. But it looks like the 6 gigabytes of RAM is basically standard. Doesn't increase by any of the ranges that I can see here. But yeah, like I said, I'm happy with the 6 gigabytes of RAM, because at least you can play a decent game with it. Or it should be able to run a decent game. And then the main camera is 12 megapixels. We have established that it's a decent camera. Video features 60 frames per second at 1080p. That's what I was talking about, 1080p. And it can go up to, okay, that's at 4K. 60 frames per second at 4K. And 240 frames per second at 1080p. That's faster than, that's a quicker refresh rate than the Xbox Series X. I'm impressed. On a phone. Wow, that's good to know. That is awesome. And it's got a cinematic mode, stereo sound, so the phone is relatively loud. Let's see what else. Dual megapixel. Okay, so it's got well, if you look at the phone, you can see that it's got 3 camera lenses, and we know that the cameras have got depth biometric sensors and things like that. So biometric sensors, basically it looks at the shape of your face. It can be your fingerprints. So biometric, basically it reads your body. It can see it can see the uniqueness in parts of your body and identify you alone in that way, basically biometric sensors. So we know what those are. And video features. So a biometric sensor would be your fingerprint, face recognition, voice recognition, yeah, that sort of thing. Okay, special features, HDR, high definition. What does the R stand for? Recording? I don't know. Let's just check. HDR meaning high dynamic range. In photography, HDR stands for high dynamic range. Dynamic range is simply the range of the lightest tones to the darkest tones within a photo. Put another way, it's a measure of the light intensities from the highlights to the shadows. Doesn't that sound like ray tracing? I think that sounds like ray tracing. That sounds like ray tracing to me. Okay, so the phone's got ray tracing. Okay. That's cool. So, okay, HDR, it's got a feature similar to ray tracing. And, okay, 4K, but we've already seen this. This is similar to what's going on up here. It has a loudspeaker with stereo speakers. That's cool. It's got a 5mm jack in case you want to plug in your standard earphones. So that's awesome. Or your standard headset. Kind of cool streaming with the headset on. Okay, although the phone really doesn't need it if it's got the speaker system on. Yeah. Okay. It's up to preference in that case. What else does this phone do? Okay, Wi-Fi dual band. Okay, we've established if you can get the phone in your country, it's gonna work with whatever Wi-Fi is offered. It will work. So okay, cool. It's got Bluetooth 5.0, so that's obviously a new type of Bluetooth. GPS, we all know what GPS is. Basically Google Maps in order to unlost you, maybe, or for you to find your way around town. Or the cool thing is like if someone sends you a GPS location for them where they are at that moment in time, that's so cool. Yeah, I love that feature on the phone, and I love that feature about Google Maps. Yeah, so okay, you can obviously do that with your iPhone. And NFC, yes, NFC. NFC. What is NFC? Meaning near field communication. I would have never guessed that. Near field communication, NFC technology allows users to make security transactions, exchange digital content, and connect electronic devices with a touch. NFC, okay, that's like your WPS feature on your router. Nice. Okay, we get it. Oh, but then they've got a speed point, yeah. Near field gonna be the whole thing now. Near field communication technology allows users to make secure transactions, exchange digital content, and connect electronic devices with the touch. NFC transmissions are short range from a touch to a view centimeters, and requires the devices to be in close proximity. Okay, so it's like for the Apple Pay and that sort of thing. So that's just a little bit more technology tweaking for your protection. Near field communication. I get it now. I get what they're trying to say now. It's awesome. I love it. Okay, let's go back to the list. So NFC, lots of things that an iPhone has that a person can't even fathom, you know. I mean, you gotta find it, do research to figure out what it does. Radio, what is that? Okay, I'm kidding. I know what radio does. USB, Lightning USB. Okay, Lightning USB is supposed to be USB-C, a USB-C port, and from what I've seen on previous iPhones, they do come with Lightning charging. So I suppose the Lightning charging port can be used for data relaying as well, like you would on your or basically on your laptop. You get the Type C Lightning port, and that allows for faster video and information travel to go through it. So we understand what Lightning and USB 2.0 is. Be nice if it had USB 3.0, but I suppose USB 2.0 is good enough. Because basically what I use my USB 3.0 for is to plug in a USB 2.0 extender, which will then have sufficient power. So let's say I plug in a 4-port USB power extender into my laptop. At least 2 of the ports will work properly on the device that I plug it into. Well, I don't know if you guys have got similar experiences. You plug in a USB extender and then only 2 of the ports basically start working well, and the others give you errors. So I suppose it's got to do with with voltage issues, but yeah, that's my personal experience. So good that they've got you USB 2.0, basically trying to discourage you from plugging in a port extender for other ports because it's 2.0 and not 3.0, and then you'll be disappointed and you'll say it's a rubbish phone. But yeah, moving on. Features, sensors, Face ID, accelerometer, gyro, proximity, compass, barometer, ultra wideband. I have no idea what that is. Ultra wideband support. Okay, I'll need to see what that is. But anyway, Face ID, we know. Accelerometer, how fast you're traveling, how fast the phone is traveling, your body is traveling at a particular moment in time. Okay, we understand what that is. A gyro, we understand what a gyro is. Proximity, I suppose it's got that facility where you whistle. And then I know it does have the Finder app. Apple Finder app or something like that, where you can locate the phone where it is in an area. I suppose you got to register for that, but I think you can basically do that with any phone on Google. Yeah, but I suppose it's good for that feature to be there. I suppose ultra wide band. Let's see what that is all about. Well, this is a feature on an iPhone, so when I do search it, I will have to add iPhone. in my search. Ultra wideband is similar communication. Ultra wideband is a similar communication protocol, but it operates at very high frequencies. Ultra wideband is useful in capturing spatial and directional data. So if you have a smartphone or smartwatch that is closer to another ultra wideband device, it calculates the time of flight between the device. My sweetness. I suppose it's nice that it's got that feature for whatever reason you're gonna use it. I don't think I'll find any use for it. But yeah, it's future proofing because maybe Wi-Fi will become too cluttered at some point. 5G will become cluttered, and not everybody's phone has got wideband. Is capable of ultra wideband tech frequency reading, whatever, you know. There's an avenue for the phone to be better than the others, I suppose. Well, future proofing. Let's leave it at that. Okay, we've already discussed that the battery lasts for a day and a half, which is good. If you're using it, it's capable of fast charging. That's awesome. A friend of mine has got a fast charger on his phone, and he can basically charge the battery up, and it lasts for a day in a couple of less than an hour. I haven't really, but he says it's quick, you know. So in a couple of minutes, he can get a half a charge or whatever, and yeah, no, that's awesome that it's got fast charging. Let's see how fast the fast charging is actually on the iPhone 13 Pro. Oh man, fast charging. Fast charger iPhone. Okay, here's a little tiny article regarding that. A conventional charger has an output of 5 to 10 watts. A fast charger can improve that by up to 8 times. For example, the iPhone 11 and Pro Max come with 18-watt fast chargers. Okay, there was something that I didn't mention about my colleague's phone. It does come with a high wattage charger. So something that would explode my phone charges his phone faster. And they actually did mention that about it when he was showing off about his phone. But you know, good for him. Maybe I get the iPhone 13 and it's obviously better because I'll go with the spec sheet and show him and explain, because I can now, because I've done the research. Okay, so okay, 2.7 watt unofficial rating, 50% in 30 minutes. Wow. So wow, it could be quicker than his phone. I'm not quite sure, but yes, in an hour you got a full charge and it lasts you for a day and a half. In half an hour you've got 50% charge. Great stuff. USB power delivery 2.0, MagSafe wireless charging, so you can actually even charge this phone with a wireless charger, 15-watt wireless charger, and QI magnetic fast wireless charging at 7.5 watts. Okay, what most people don't know is how a wireless charger works. So basically, electricity is frequency. So these scientists have actually figured out a way to vibrate the using a Let's just go onto the web and I'll explain it there. Wireless charging. How it works. How does it work? Okay, how does fast wireless charging work? With fast wireless charging, the charger transfers more energy to the phone while charging. Transferring more energy means that it takes less time to charge your phone. This is especially effective when your battery is almost empty. This is not what I'm looking for. iPhone wireless charging, how does it work? Wireless charging works by transferring energy from the charger to a receiver in the back of the phone via electromagnetic induction. So basically, the 2 points vibrate and the 1 point gets a charge. Collects the charge. The charger uses an induction coil to create an alternating electromagnetic field, which the receiver coil in the phone converts back into electricity to be fed into the battery. Now, I don't know if you guys follow history, but there is rumor to believe that the pyramids are actually designed in that way. And there was a scientist that actually thought of this idea many years ago. And oh yes, the Tesla actually thought about this idea many years ago. It did come into fruition, but I mean, this is basically how it was supposed to work. Interesting, right? Interesting stuff. Tesla's inside the iPhone. Interesting stuff. Let's go back. Colors: graphite, gold, silver, Sierra blue, alpine green. Nice. Oh, here's the models. So these models, A2643. So if we go up here, they actually, it can be a region locking system that they've got going. Region locking, you get certain features in certain countries. Certain countries don't allow you to do certain things, so you just send them a different region locked phone. Maybe you can't show certain things in their country, and you can show certain things in your country. Maybe they don't like certain things to be used in their country, and maybe they want their own stuff to be used in their country. Maybe they don't like an app that is appearing on your phone. You gotta block it, so you do it with that sort of thing, I suppose. I don't know. I don't really care, because obviously it will affect you in your country and there's nothing you can do about it. But however that works, it's just the model of the phone. Everything is the same basically. I'm not going to get into that because that's like a whole different can of worms, whatever that means. And yeah, okay, so the models are for the basically for iPhone to keep track of where certain phones are and what their restrictions are. It's obvious. So we leave that as it is. I may even cut that completely out of the video when I do my final editing. SAR. Yeah, okay, that's just the body. Weight. The weight. So there's your 240 grams. That is your cup of water, the weight of the phone. Glass of water is approximately the weight of the iPhone. Performance AN22. So that's the score that they've gotten for the phone. And the benchmark for the 60 frames per second is ES 3.1 on screen. contrast ratio infinite, which is nominal. And then photo video. So basically it's good, you know, it's nominal, infinite and nominal. It's good. That according to the test, they wouldn't have it here if it wasn't good, so it's good, I suppose. So okay, taking into consideration all the features on the phone, and I've established that it's as good as a PC, let's look at the price. So an iPhone 13 Pro comes in at $999. So that's the, I suppose that's the entry level of the Pro Max. $999. So let's see how expensive that is. So how much? This is how I always calculate whether the thing is expensive or not. How much is a loaf of bread in America? $2.5. That's $2.50. And okay, in South Africa it's about 15 rand. So if you take about 15 times the dollar, let's take $2.5 in rands. So it's approximately 36 rands. So their bread is actually twice as much as what it costs in South Africa. So essentially, just by looking at the price of the bread, their cost of living is actually double that of an SA citizen. So interesting to know. So after taking into consideration everything, and okay, in SA, the price of a good phone would be like, you know, a decent phone would be in the region of about 10,000. 8 to 10,000 would give you a nice phone. Doesn't have to be an iPhone, but a nice phone. And looking at the cost of the iPhone iPhone 13, $999 in rands. Entry level phone would cost you about 16,000 rands. No, it can't be. Dollars in rands. Let's see. Okay, evidently it's about 16,000 rands. So I'm quite undecided because the iPhone is rather expensive, and it isn't something that I would just go out and purchase on a whim. I would really need it basically. I would need to I would want to use the features. So let's have a look at the video before I make a decision. Okay, so I just watched a small YouTube video, or just well, you can watch a couple of YouTube videos just to get a basic idea after going onto the website or web page and reading through all the information and seeing for yourself what it means. Coming back to what I initially set out to do was to decide whether or not I would want to buy an iPhone, and well, it's definitely on my wish list. I may think about it a little bit more, but yeah, definitely would consider purchasing an iPhone. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful to you deciding on whether you would like an iPhone 13 or not. You can leave some comments in the comment section of this video, and yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. I'm Argent Leo, and take care for now. See you guys in my next video. Bye bye.